As we bring in Dan Arbell. Dan's the former Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of Israel. Welcome back to the show. And I guess if we were kind of looking at it in the broader context, I wonder if you see it the same way. It seems like it's a administration in Washington, and I wonder how Israel feels about this, that's looking for an off-ramp, that's looking for a way out of this to declare victory sooner rather than later. Or am I getting that wrong?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think that the rise in oil prices, the plunge in Wall Street, all suggest to Trump that this is perhaps the time to consider this. And I think that he'll find Israel, although not thrilled to stop, that I think Israel is also in a position that it will adhere to Trump's call if he asks Israel to stop. Because right now, Israel achieved most of its goals, except for, of course, regime change and the pursuit for those 408 kilograms of missing enriched uranium. But again, it could resume it at a later stage. And I think that for Israel, if Trump decides to stop now, it won't be a major problem.
Here's Gideon Sar, the Israeli foreign minister, earlier on when the war might end. Let's listen.
So we will continue until the minute that we and our partners will think it is appropriate to stop. We are not closer, as the President of the United States said yesterday. We are not looking for an endless war.
But if they do stop, Dan, and you already conceded that would most likely be with the regime such as it is in power in Tehran, what about those who say that's not a real victory? What would you say?
No, I agree. Look, this goal of regime change. There's a lot of ambiguity about it, both on the U.S. and Israeli side. When they first began the operation, that was not a goal. Then it re-entered as a priority, and now it's kind of there's no direct it's not a determined goal, and so as we get closer and as Israel and the U.S. are hitting more and more targets, it does kind of give an appetite for both of them to seek regime change. But they understand that it's a very mighty task and it will require a much greater effort. And well, it's not clear whether they're willing to take that road right now.
You know, it's funny, in some conversations I have with people, they're so dismissive of the idea, depending on their point of view, that the Israeli people or that the Iranian people would just rise up and, overthrow this regime essentially itself, or it might fall on its own. But is there any probability or possibility in your mind that Iran will be so weakened by this that might happen, that the regime doesn't have much internal support and it might crumble on its own, or no chance?
Never say never. Although there are no signs that there's any force right now out there in Iran that's able to topple the regime. The opposition is splintered. They're underground. I mean, they don't have the necessary weapons and the means to topple the regime. But obviously, as the Israeli and U.S. attacks continue and more devastation may lead people in the security services, in the army, to perhaps decide to switch sides or to kind of leave their positions and join protesters. But we don't see those mass protests that we were hoping to see. And perhaps maybe it is too early to anticipate it's going to happen. But maybe down the road, within a few months, it may happen.
Yeah, dodging bombs and missiles now, and then maybe they come out afterwards. I mean, again, it could be wishful thinking, but just wanted to bring that up with you before we wrap. Thank you, Dan. It's good to see you as always, Dan Arbell.